Howdy. Welcome to the YouTube stream. The YouTube stream is something featured on the internet where I get to talk and people even in faraway places, such as Oakhurst, can still hear me thanks to the magic of the YouTube. The YouTube has even more magic nestled in its groin than the RuPaul's Drag Race, which obviously has a lot of energy nestled in its groin. Nestle in my groin, learn a thing or two. Nestle in my groin, won't you, dear Aunt Sue? You can touch my wiener, and I will stroke your face. And when we're done, I'll have befouled all your pretty lace. That's a poem I just made. It's a Valentine's Day poem. Poems sell a lot of copy on Valentine's Day, you know. People are just like, woohoo! It's some kind of International Poetry Day or something. Gosh. We should get a poem. We should commission a poem from a major poet for our loved one. I'm going to commission a poem from Maya Angelou. People don't commission a lot of poems anymore. It's sad but true, and also and several other emotions, but true as well. Okay, enough killing time there. I've put the microphone on. I'm able to give this matter of the YouTube stream my full attention. I'm excited. You're excited. We're about to make love the YouTube way, which has nothing to do with sex. Naturally, several, if not several 100,000 people have expressed dismay. Eric, wait for us. Don't start the YouTube stream yet. Hi there, Eric. The YouTube stream or the YouTube stream everyone really truly needs, wants, and desires? This is just the YouTube stream. Yeah, because it's a stream that takes place on the YouTube. So that's why it's called that. Because whoever named it said, hey, let's pick a really logical name. You may discover that the video quality right now is a little bit on the poor side. Fair enough. Fair enough. Poor is the correct ranking for the current amount of video quality being expressed here on the YouTube stream. Let's see if I can untangle this without ruining my whole life. Probably not. Okay, well, I just have to get it. I'm just gonna have to live with it. Just like Taylor Swift now has to live with cat AIDS. She didn't ask for it. But I'll tell you what she did do. She ignored her intuition because, well, she just called it. We didn't end up going into town because I decided to not execute my plans to conquer the male woman, the mailman woman. I guess I'm getting soft in my old age, huh? I said, Eric, just put the sand in there and see if you can fix the problem. It took me several days of seething about it to get past the seething and just go, fuck it, whatever. Yeah, I try to remind myself, I've got this great, wonderful life. I don't have to deliver the mail. So, you know, why am I being all fussy, you know? Be cool. She certainly has a harder job than I have. There's no disputing that. So maybe I should just be cool, you know? Let it slide. I don't like it, but you know, like I said, she has to deliver the mail all day. And I don't. So let her have it. Because life's already unfair in my favor. So I should be unfair in their favor. In this case, not prioritizing justice, but instead prioritizing just an outcome we can all live with, you know. I put all the sand up there. I'm in the process actually of making a video about putting sand in front of the mailbox. As you can imagine, it is stunning, thrilling, captivating, amazing, delightful, breathtaking, spellbinding, and many more such words. The CGI dinosaurs in it are not to be believed. I hear a little chirpy chirp. What is it chirping about? So after I put the sand, though, I decided, you know what, Eric? Do a little bit of a better job of this. Put down some little rocks. You know, ideally they want you to fill it with gravel. I don't have a big pile of gravel to draw from. Some of the sand that I put down there was little black rocks of the sort from which they make asphalt. Some of the sand was like straight up sand. So I messed up from the outset by starting on the far end away from the mailbox rather than starting where the most of the mud was and making sure that was taken care of first and then working my way back to the less difficult, the less problematic sections, right? I should have done it that way, but I didn't. So even after I realized, after I thought, oh shoot, we don't have enough sand, and then I drove a little car back down the hill, and then Rachel said, hey, look, you missed 4 bags of sand right there. So I said, okay, well, I'll go pour those sands on it. And I poured those sands, and even then, it was still pretty squishy to the foot, you know. So then I went up with a bucket and started collecting a bunch of rocks from around here and pouring them there. And now I've got what's looking like, increasingly like a little cobblestone thing going on. But the mud is all just straight up thick clay. So it's a great binding agent for making makeshift adobes and natural cements and stuff. Yeah, they used real dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. They hadn't mastered the CGI yet. So they had to pay top dollar for some of the world's most impressive and rarest dinosaur specimens. They also used a real Bigfoot in Harry and the Hendersons. I'm sorry, Sasquatch, I know. Bigfoot's hate speech. Rachel and I started watching today. It's crazy how much shit has gotten accomplished the last 2 days with the arrival of Adderall. I got the whole house cleaned. We got stuff from the store, called the salon. Most importantly, I dealt with that shit up there, but I'm not quite all the way done. Because, well, I sanded the whole thing. I haven't quite completed my rocking of it. So, I figure I've got 4 or 5 more buckets of rocks to get. And I'm going to try to be a little smarter tomorrow morning when I resume work on it. I'm going to try to get some bigger, flatter pieces of rock so I don't need to collect as many rocks. There are such rocks around here. In fact, it would even be smart potentially for me to drive out in a little car up Heights Cove a little bit to where there's those big pieces of that flat rock like we have in the back. Bring a few of those back and save myself a lot of hassle potentially. But I'm not sure if I can do that or not. There's actually quite a few of those kind of big flat flagstone pieces of rock around here that I don't have to drive to at all, just on the hill and shit. So it's a lot of rocks around here. It's a very mineral-rich area. And, I encountered plenty of cool rocks just off the side of the road while I was gathering them for my makeshift gravel project. And as I hit the rocks with a hammer to make them go into the ground a little bit, they typically would break into smaller pieces. So it's like kind of a way of graveling after the fact, It's like I'm ricing my rocks, except not so much ricing. Well, here's the thing, Winston's mom. This is the whole ridiculousness of this whole thing. It's not my property. It's not my land. It's the county's land. It's where the site of the road is. But they haven't, but the phone company dug up there to bury some cables, and they didn't put any fill over the top of the clay, and it turned to mud in the winter, So we called the phone company and told them to fill it with fill, and they said okay, but they never came out here and did it. So, the original plan was we're going to go into town, I'll go to the phone company first, tell them to do it again, and then I'll go to the post office and yell at them. But then today I was like, hey, hold on a second. You got all these sandbags full of sand that you've been befuddled by because you're like, well, what should I do with it? It's like, where should I pour the sand? And can I use the sand or something? Well, I'm glad that you just sat there for such a long time because now I've used the sand. And only the brown bags actually had sand in them. Conveniently, The white bags all had the little black rocks they make asphalt out of. Well, some days we do. Some days we do just sit back and ignore shit. It depends on where we are, where I am in the Adderall cycle, really. But I'm proud of myself for the last 2 days worth of efforts because they've been they've moved forward on significant things. I put shit away that I've been meaning to put away for a while, etc. Cleaned up nicely. You know, the trash came a day late this week, but who cares? We didn't have to call them. That's nice. I got some gray stuff chipped off the wall. You don't like sand? Reinhard, you should try to drink a cup of sand. Tiffany's taken up the habit of drinking sand. She uses the justification that you drink things that you can pour. You can pour sand, therefore you should drink sand. Exactly. Yeah, I'm just gonna let it slide. Even though she broke universal law number 1 of the universe, don't fuck with Eric, on 2 separate occasions, instead of exacting my pound of flesh, I'm just going to let it slide. And I can't tell if I feel dirty or clean for doing so. What's rough and coarse and gets everywhere? Pubic hair? Mr. Sandman, send me a dream and make him the cutest that I've ever seen. Even cuter than Bono. How many cutlet lovers do we have here? Everybody? Everybody loves cutlets? Good. That's how it should be. The point is also, I don't even know if the phone companies would get mad at me if I poured concrete. After all, it's not my land, and it's the phone company's cables under there. They probably don't want me to pour concrete over them, I would guess. Besides which, I don't want to pour concrete. I want to solve the problem without having to go out of the house and buy something. And I think that's what I'm doing right now, successfully. Most importantly, maybe the mailman woman is not going to like to drive over these little rocks. I don't know. Maybe she's going to think we did a shitty job. But I've done some calculations, and I've determined that it's going to be almost impossible for her to successfully complain again. Because the paper we got said the mud problem has gotten out of hand. From there, we can infer that that she asked them, some supervisor person at the post office, to come by and write us up for this mud once before, and he declined to do so. And then she pestered him to come out and look again, and he said, okay, fine, I'll write him up. And now we've taken action to remedy the problem. So in the best case scenario for her, or, you know, the worst case scenario for me, she can somehow get this guy to come back and write us up again because we didn't take exactly the right action. But most likely, she's exhausted her capital on this matter already, since we've taken action of some sort, and it's not nearly as bad. She's very unlikely to be able to pull off complaining about it again. So I think that doing it this kind of half-assedly homemade way that I'm doing is perfect. It's not fixing the problem to her satisfaction, but she's not going to be able to say a goddamn thing about it. And that's why I'm pleased we took this approach. It doesn't cost anything. It uses the materials that are just right here. And, it's incredibly better than it was, especially now that I've added more rocks up there and stuff. Um, it still may not be hard as the road, but I don't think we're going to have a problem with it getting redded out like that again.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Not with all the rocks I'm putting in there. I just hammer them all down with a hammer, and it makes something like a cross between cobblestones and gravel. So anyway, that's what my earlier evening had to do. That's what I was doing. But no, I didn't stack the sandbags. I poured all. You'll see in the video, Winston's mom. It's in process of being made. Okay. Um, I have to wait for the videos from my phone to upload to Google Photos before I can download them to the computer, and there's a couple more to upload to Google Photos. But I've gotten most of them downloaded and into the app, and even the majority of them edited. So it's not it's not it's not too far from being done. And you'll get to see exactly what it looks like in front of the mailbox, and you'll get to make your own judgment about whether we should have gotten written up by the post office or whether the post office was overreacting, whether the mailman woman was overreacting to our mud. Regardless, I'm trying to frame it like this in my head. It definitely needed to be dealt with, just because why do we need to have a gross, big, muddy rut in front of our mailbox? And even though I don't like the way that she forced me to, with threatening to not deliver our mail anymore to us, getting us ridden up by the post office, I don't like that at all. But even so, um, I'm going to just try to view this as, look, she's an ESTJ. She's my benefactor. I'm her beneficiary. She's benefiting me by making me do this, even though I don't want to be benefited in that way. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to just try to take the benefits from it and leave the rest at the doorstep. Like I said, what business do I really have getting all mad at the mailman woman when I don't even have a job that I have to go to and she's got to deliver the mail all day? I got to keep that kind of shit in mind. You know? It's one thing when there's all this shit being thrown on you by life, you know, then you got to be a little bit more ferocious about defending your ground, because you get a lot of shit thrown on you. Life feels like a war zone.
Yeah.
But that's not my life anymore. So I can't act like somebody who's getting shit thrown on them all the time would be empowered to act in terms of getting mad. You know, I don't want to be, it'd be spoiled. And nobody likes a spoiled child. Seeing as I am still a child, obviously, in the first blush of infancy, I should try to avoid being spoiled. I should start asking myself, what does a star? Make a chair. Why does make a chair? Because Jesus was a carpenter. What would Jesus do if he'd locked himself out of his car? It was Friday night and he didn't have his wallet with him. Boo, 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 boo. He'd break the window to his own car, that's right. Hi, Type Police Fanatic, or TPF as I like to call you. How are you? I hope you're well. And when you try to smell something bad, you should ask yourself why. What I wanted to talk about in addition to my mailbox mud rut saga, which has been ongoing now for a while, but finally we took some action to do something about it today. I'd like to talk to you about the television show called Queen's Gambit, which Rachel and I began watching today. And I gotta say, it really sucked me in.
Me too.
It was quite entertaining, quite intriguing, quite made of bees and trees and Regans. That lady who plays the main lady in it is a good actress, but the girl who played her as a girl was also a really good actress.
She was.
Like through the consistency of the personality conveyed from childhood through young adulthood is impressive that they got all the actresses on the same page.
Yes.
I think there were 3 different actresses showing her at 3 different ages.
I think you're right.
And she is this is beginning level typology of fictional characters. What type is she? She's so obviously INTJ. The Effie Polar is conveyed really well in that show. good writing, good acting, and the frame of the chess world is an intriguing one, as is the the bits of like chess strategy stuff, like various opening names and so forth. If you go to the community tab of Talking with Famous People, I linked to it. It's like 3 posts ago. You were just playing chess listening to this? That Queen's Gambit was pretty good. It makes me want to play chess watching it, actually. But, um, but I probably won't play chess because, see, chess seems a lot of fun to play if you're that genius, intuitive chess master kind of person who everyone goes, "How are you so good? You're such a prodigy, not prodigy.
Mm.
Prodigy is not a word. Prodigy." Um, but I'm not that good at chess. I'm not terrible at it, but I'm certainly not a grand master, a regular master, a pre-master, or even a pre-master's assistant. So, since I'm not that good at it, it's not really that much of an interest to me. Now that computers can beat humans at playing it, that also makes it kind of just like
Hmm.
it's lost its magical quality or something. And it's like not only can computers beat people at chess, they can beat people at any closed system game with rules. So people have made an effort to try to create games, rule structured games that humans will have an ability to um, will have advantages over computers, and they can't do it. As long as the rules are discrete, concrete, and comprehensive as is necessary for a game, then like learning algorithms and and thereby game playing capacity of computers make it such that humans can't beat computers at any game, including poker, for example. That's why online poker's dead again. It's because people started using um, apps to decide what you know how they should act. They started letting apps tell them how to act that were better than regular poker players. So now people just play poker live again. Interesting, huh?
It is. It's changing things.
I think it's good for poker that it's back in poker rooms instead of online.
Yeah. Me too.
But the thing that computers can't do, although there are apps that will write that can write classical music score, like in the style of Haydn, in the style of Strauss or whatever, and so computers can potentially, or AI, quote unquote, or basically complex layered algorithms, creative algorithms, or whatever, can generate composition, but it's not good. And and most importantly, what computers can't do is produce tracks. They can't write music in any meaningful sense. Although, if you narrow the parameters enough, they can do composition. But they'll never be able to produce tracks. I should sell the Type Police franchise for Frank James for $500,000. It's a good series. Well, I think he should buy it for $500,000.
Yeah. Worth it.
Tell him I'm waiting for his phone call. I'll hear his offer. If someone wanted to buy Type Police, they could. They would probably want to buy it with me as part of the package, since the concept itself of type policing someone, I don't think I could really win a intellectual property lawsuit on that. Let's say they wanted to use the song and they thought that I was a good type policeman, but they wanted to produce it better and they wanted to make it a big thing. They could buy it from me with me being an employee as part of the contractual obligation or something for a certain number of years, and that'd be fine with me, because I would do better work if somebody were producing me, you know? It's like, that's true of music. It's true of everything. I do better work when I'm have obligations to a team that compel me to take what I'm doing seriously and meet deadlines and stuff like that, you know? Because I don't have a lot of self-discipline. Nobody ever accused me of being the most self-disciplined boy in town. Nobody ever accused me of being the most reliable and conscientious of all of the children. Because, I'm not sure what I'm doing later. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Well, I could use that bird net there, Winston's mom. If it works, that'd be great. If I could just record the birds and it would tell me what species of bird it is by what song they sing.
Mm.
That would be nice.
Yeah, they have books like that.
How do they have books so they can...
So you like turn to a page, and there's like a thing you so like you turn your page and it'll say a bird, and you press like a certain number, and it'll play the sound that that songbird sings.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a very different kind of audiobook than the kinds people normally mean.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think this brings us to our next cigarette intermission. During cigarette intermission, you get a chance to go with me backstage here at Talking with Tennis People, where the real dirty work goes down, you know? Backstage. All right, let's get a special VIP insider's peek. So here we are, backstage at the Talking with Famous People Studios here on set. And as you can see, it's not nearly as formal back here. With the grips, the best boys, hair and makeup, all that stuff, they all work over here. Of course, we got Trouble. He's doing security right now. How are things looking, man? Okay? No stalkers, no paparazzi? Okay, good. We got a real problem with paparazzi around here, obviously. You know what they say about paparazzi, right? Paparazzi, the San Francisco treat. That's what they say about paparazzi. Oh, but I'm a paparazzi. Not you, paparazzi. I'm talking about something different. So anyway, as the days passed, I grow more docile, easygoing, peaceable. You know, I don't like being told what to do. Certainly not when it's accompanied with some kind of a threat. But I don't need to, you know, be so ericky. It totally looks like a footprint on the rock. It's cold out here. I'm ready to go back inside. It's because I didn't wear my hat with me, on me. I didn't wear my hat before coming out. I didn't put on my hat before coming outside. I'm not currently wearing my hat. Maybe I need to restate this in several more ways. So, you know, speed days, they have their days of varying shades. You know, it's like, on the one hand, it's pretty chilly. You can see my breath even when I'm not blowing out smoke. No smoke coming in and out. This is all my breath. But, it's not that cold. It's not cold like it was during the winter. Well, I got a big poop coming out of my butt soon, I think. It is turning around so that it doesn't come out breech. And I believe my water's broken. The sheer scale of this poop is hijacking my attention. Whatever thoughts I had before, whatever insights, they've all turned to, wow, I'm going to have to poop any minute now. Don't be afraid. Don't worry. I won't take you into poop with me. I'm going to leave you out here, actually. And I want you guys to keep your eyes out for Sasquatches. Sasquatches often prefer to come at night because they know it's darker then. So probably as soon as they see me go inside to go to the bathroom, it'll be like, this is our chance to walk past her without Eric seeing us. So hopefully you'll see at least 3 or 4. I'll be right back. Well, it was a Sasquatch, but there was a raccoon here just a second ago. Oh, well, I guess. And then as soon as I came over here, the raccoon walked away, and then Trouble walked over. Like, I wonder if Trouble was waiting for the raccoon to go away before he walked over. Did you guys see the raccoon? Also, did you see any Sasquatches? Well, I gotta tell you, it barely even qualified as a poo. Mostly a false alarm. At best, a short warm-up act. So, we all hope and dream and imagine a world well, there was a raccoon right by the tripod when I went back over the door over there. Quite a large one. Hi. Oh my God, y'all. Why are they called? They're the bandits of the forest. So we got this interesting kind of chip, BLT flavored Lay's. We had them for dinner tonight. They were fine. They didn't particularly taste like a BLT, or I didn't notice them tasting especially like a BLT. You don't want to go outside there, Trouble. Well, there's a raccoon outside, that's why. Don't be nice, Trouble. Don't be mean to Capio. That's not our way. Okay. So, I think I'm going to take a couple stabs right now at an impromptu song I'm going to need to put over the fast time part of the video that I'm currently working on. It needs a let's see. How do I want to do this? I guess I want to do it like this. Sure, why not? Might as well. Let me turn this down so you can see what I'm doing. Here I am. Hi. I've got to make up a song real quick about putting sand in front of the mailbox so that I can put it in the video. I might as well multitask. I could live stream and make up this song at the same time. Okay, so First, let's tune the guitar. Always a good idea. I stayed in tune because um, I just, you know, played it yesterday, as they say. Okay, now we're going to open up this application. It's an application I like to call Audacity. I'm going to use it to record this song concurrently with live streaming. It needs to be about 1.5 minutes long. I'm just going to try a few different options, you know. Turn it down just a little bit. Okay, good. Okay, that's not too hot. Okay. It was after a rainy spell in May. We went to the box to get the mail. We discovered there a sheet of paper most unfair. They didn't like our mud. Okay. If I want to get my mail, I've got to put some gravel down, or the mail woman won't bring my mail around. If I want my mail, and if I want to see what the sender has sent with the postage stamp off to me, then I've got to make gravel. I got to use sand. Otherwise I'll get in trouble with the mailman. I'm kind of shocked it's a rural postal route, but I guess that woman too has opinions about mud and cars. If she could look to see, she'd recognize immediately that being so finicky's not good. But I've got to put the gravel, I mean rocks I smash with my hammer that I gather from just around this place. I mean the place I live. There are rockets everywhere, at least rocks, but they don't shoot into the sky. Alright, well that's not bad. I'll probably use that one or some portion of it, you know. So there, good, I'm done. It's just that easy. Yes. If you buy Eric's How to Play Guitar in 5 Minutes book, you too can play guitar like the professionals in just 5 minutes. That's how powerful my book is at teaching you how to play the guitar. Master everything on the guitar in just 5 minutes. Well, I mean, I did record the guitar and the voice separately, but with that, that's carrying somewhat. I went to the trouble of plugging in the guitar to the second channel on the sound card. I think that's pretty carrying a lot. That's pretty carrying a lot. I just need some song to put there so that the part that's turned up to 8 times speed, which is like fast motion of me stepping on the sand. It looks like I'm super fast dancing, kind of. So I thought it would be good to have a song underneath that. Now, where did I put? There it is. Everybody seems to lose their beer. It's over here. From the place where I sit. Hold me now. I always want to drink you beer. 'Cause you taste so good. Come to me. I'm gonna drink upon your bottle. Mac Daddy is here. She's a pack saddy weird. What? Why did she come? Why did she come? She came to say hello. To say hello. That's your entrance song. Peter Cetera wrote it. He called it Mac Daddy, Why Are You Here? She was asking for $0. They gave her $2 million anyway. I guess the facts as they came to light in court didn't make Trump look very good. Shocking. You know, I love it here in Mariposa, and I'm all for America and everything like that. And these people up here generally seem to share my values, but there's a lot of support for Trump up here, and I do not understand that. Because if you want to uphold the same values I want to uphold, you can't do it that way and actually uphold the values. I mean, I get you're mad at that kind of bullshit or this kind of bullshit, and you see him as the alternative to that. And he may be an alternative to some of that or this kind of bullshit, but I don't care how delicious the Christmas goose is. You shouldn't be happy with it if it's poisoned. Mac Daddy will make me Trump. And so will MC Hammer. He was the one who first informed me, because I didn't know prior to this, when him informed me, that I cannot touch this. Because the whole time I had been under the impression that I could touch that. And then I learned from McHammer, I guess he's Irish, that I cannot. How would you respond to someone who says, give specific examples of how Trump is a bad president? Well, I'd start with his murder of an Iranian general on Iraqi soil, against all historical precedent regarding assassinations, against international law, against the Constitution, and everything else that could possibly be used to justify the killing. I mean, I would point out that this endangers every American working internationally in government business, because any other country can justify assassinating our dignitaries now. After all, we set the precedent that that's okay when Trump chose to do that. So, one thing that I would prefer a president not do is commit cold-blooded murder. You know, it's one thing if he had bombed some shit in North Korea. We're at war with them. But yeah, I'd prefer our president not be a cold-blooded murderer like Trump is. Type police fanatic, what are you doing? Oh, show media did that. Don't do that, show media. Why did you time him out? What did he say? He just said MAGA. A little effing way up your beeholes. Well, I'd also point out that he was a terrible leader. He couldn't even keep his own cabinet together, his own hand-picked cabinet. The amount of turnover in that administration was, again, unprecedented. How do I feel about Title 42 ending at the border? I don't even know what that is. You'd have to tell me what that is. I mean, obviously, U.S. law ends at the border. But U.S. Foreign policy, nevertheless, has impacts linking to international law and to setting a precedent and just normalizing certain kinds of behaviors. Uh, I don't know if he always had it or not. I think he asked for it the other day to put a link. I'm not logged in as me, so let me do that. I mean, I am logged in as me, and I shouldn't be. I should be logged in as talking to famous people. Oh, well. Winston's mom seems well informed about this. Now, let's put this unpleasantness behind us and correction. You were. You could have gotten away with that nonsense if you pretended like it was an accident. It took me a second to change to change, what do you call it? Profile so I could unmoderate you. All right. Okay. That's fine. You can time yourself out. You're right. I forgot that. I needed to smoke another bowl to get my short-term memory back. Anyway, I've remoderated you since you fooled me with your little practical joke there. And I thought you were being a bad moderator and timing someone out for not a good enough reason. Well, consider me successfully pranked. It was the hardest moment of my life. Show media pranked me so good, I didn't know if I'd ever recover. Where did I leave my jacket? And why didn't I put it on the chair like I normally do? The mystery deepens. I know what I did with it. I know. I hung it on this hook right here in the bathroom. When in doubt, check the bathroom hooks, because that might be where your jacket is. It's good advice no matter who you are, no matter where you are in the world, no matter how many times you've eaten breakfast today. I need a hat because it's getting a little on the chilly side before I go outside. And now we have the second question. What did I do with my hat? Well, fortunately, this question is a little easier to answer. I left it right there on the chair. Right there where it could easily have been stolen, but I got lucky. Rachel kept her hat thieving hands to herself, and I still have my hat. She didn't really have hat thieving hands. I was just lying for comedic effect. And that was wrong of me. So, if you guys determine that I need to be stoned to death, then go ahead and start throwing those rocks. I accept the verdict. I understand the scope of my failure. But if you can find it in your heart to show me mercy in my time of need, I promise later on I'll give you a good deal on weed. That's what you're arrested for? Oh, I mean speed. That's even worse, according to the courts. What's wrong with you guys anyway? We have an irrational fear/hatred of drugs? Oh, that makes a lot of sense, actually. I know. We're the courts. We always make a lot of sense. Do you, though? Do ya? Not so much, really. Let's not have an inflated, delusional self-opinion, Quartz. You're better than spinning the wheel of punishments, but not much. What did I come back in here for? Oh, I know. Close the garage door. Don't leave it open. People might be tempted to go in there and steal my little wilderness car. Oh, I don't want to steal my little wilderness car. That's how I go to the wilderness. So anyway, you know, it's been a good day. It's been a busy day. It's been a productive day. But have I really taken enough time to just be Eric? Well, let's do this, do that, watch this, say those things. How about just taking a few moments to just be Eric? Okay. So the next question is, how do I be Eric? Like this, maybe? What do you think? Does that seem like I was being Eric to you? Or how about this? Does that seem like I was being Eric? Eric. E is for energetic. R for right on the money. I for igloo. And C for come on now, Eric. That's how you write a poem. You can trust my opinion about this because I'm 6-time poet laureate, once for the United States, 5 times for Canada. They just couldn't find any Canadians who could write good poetry, so they had to look south of the border. Not south of the border as we mean it here in America. We refer to Mexico when we say south of the border. But when they say it in Canada, they mean America. Or potentially Mexico. Both are south of their border. Well, it could mean anything all the way down to Antarctica. So leave it to those Canadians to use such a vague and imprecise term. They're about as precise as maple syrup on a sundae. Ah, sweet nothing. You ain't got nothing at all. Say a word for Jimmy Brown. He ain't got nothing at all. Not the shoes right on his feet. He ain't got nothing at all. And say a word for meow, meow, meow. Such a sad song. It makes me want to tear the teardrops from my tear ducts with my cold, dead hands. I miss. This is the bad part about putting this on the ground. The good part about putting it on the ground is it doesn't make the banister, or whatever you call this thing, doesn't make this look messy because there's not a big ashtray right here in the corner. But putting it on the ground means when I drop a cigarette butt in there, half the time I miss. The alternative would be to bend over and drop it in there, but boy, that's asking an awful lot. What am I, Captain Bendover of the Bendover Squad? I don't think so. Yeah. You gotta like be you. They got some iconic songs. But I don't just like that album. You know, Lou Reed's got a couple of great solo tracks too. My two favorite being Perfect Day and Satellite of Love. Satellites come up to the sky. Me out of my mind. Then for a little while, I like to watch things on TV. Ba-da-dum, 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 bum, bum, bum. Satellite of love. Bum, bum, bum. Satellite of love. Bum, bum, bum. Satellite of love. Satellite of. Langston Hughes wrote some pretty cool poetry, actually. He was pretty badass, despite the fact that he could only attain a certain level of badassery because he was too contemporaneous, too political, not timeless enough in his topic. But he certainly had excellent intuition for turn of phrase. Well, I don't generally like Lou Reed's solo career. Uh, he's got a few good tracks. Uh, what's that one song? What's that one album that like Wild Side is on? That one's not bad, but he's not as good. The funny thing is, Perfect Day and Satellite of Love are probably Lou Reed's two best songs of all time, and they're both his solo songs. But the bulk of his good songs are with Transformer. Thank you. Are with the Velvet Underground. You know, he's got Stephanie Says, Candy Says, Sunday Morning, um, When You Close the Door, the night would last forever, so keep the sun shine out and say goodbye to never. All the people are dancing and they're having such fun. I wish it could happen to me. What I've been singing lately is, well, I'm beginning to see the light. Some people work very hard, but still they never get it right. Yeah, I'm beginning to see the light. Ba-dun-dun-dun-dun. Ba-dun-dun-dun-dun. Well, yeah, most of Lou Reed's good songs are Velvet Underground songs, but his two best are solo songs. So what do you do with that, right? Because Perfect Day is also a perfect song, and Satellite of Love is also a perfect song. They're both just mind blowing. They'll never top the G1 theme. I don't know what the G1 theme is. Is it just one G the whole time? Well, I guess Rachel's asleep. She must have gone to bed. Or, I mean, she hasn't gone to bed upstairs, straight upstairs. I don't know. Well, I like, boom, 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 boom. I'll be your mirror. Yeah, Sweet Jane's a good song too. So is Rock and Roll. Well, I mean, the thing is, what I'm thinking is, uh, I'll be best served to get a good night's as much sleep as I can. Because I'm at the beginning of the bottle, but I still managed to get 4 hours of sleep last night on the first night, which is good. One chord's fine. 2 chords are pushing it. 3 chords and you're into jazz. Yeah. Um, Pale Blue Eyes is a genius song as well. Yeah, Velvet Underground. They're they have some really they have a really impressive catalog of good songs. They also have some indulgent shit that's way too long, like Heroin or um, White Light, White Heat. You know, I can't listen to that self-indulgent shit for for very long. They start off like good songs, but then it gets go on forever, and it gets all noisy, and it's like, okay, you guys are doing too much speed right now. That's what White Light, White Heat's about. They're all fucking gacked out. They having 8-minute jam sessions on White Light, White Heat. Um, oh, right. Well, the thing is, what I wanted to work on tonight before I went to bed is get that video done. It's not really a particularly purposeful video. It's just a video about me filling in this spot where there's mud in front of the mailbox, right? But it represents a return to my more actively creative ways from the end of a long fallow period. it's my wife and it's my life. And when the spike hits my vein, it's pretty pro drug song, and it's you know you can't help but romanticize it. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've gotten a new song written. That's true. It's something that I suspect I'll start doing again. Maybe even this month. We'll see. I started recording Wonderful Kitty. I'm trying to do a studio tracking of Wonderful Kitty, and I need to probably revisit it, start it over, like retrack the guitar, decide exactly what I want to do with it. Um, have Rachel lay down vocals and stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on in our life right now. It's it's fun. I don't feel like too busy or overwhelmed or anything, but it is somewhat interfering a little bit with my return to full blast creative endeavor. And the reason is um, there's a lot of sensory tasks to be done. There's a lot of house to be cleaned. There's a lot of, you know, touch up stuff to be done to the house. Paint this spot there, paint that spot over there, take down the paint from this and repaint that whole little area right there, etc. Shit like that. Um, but I'm getting on things bit by bit. Uh, it helps that I managed to spend the first 2 days of this bottle of Adderall hammering through a bunch of necessary chores. Well, I could do that. I'd like to make sure that whatever it is I'm working on is a good thing, good choice of thing for me to be working on. I want my creative energies to be a little more NI than they've perhaps historically been. And so I think Wonderful Kitty is the right thing to work on. I think it's a good song. I don't have a recording of it. I don't have any kind of multi-track recording of it. I do feel a little bit unclear about how exactly it's gonna sound as a track. Like, I don't have a good vision of how it works as a multi-track song. I just have a very clear vision of what it is as a song with a guitar and a voice, or 2 voices, but I don't know. I don't really know what to do with the drums. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm not saying that they're great drums or anything. Uh, Might be worth re-recording, but I'd have to start it over from scratch. Probably my energies would be directed better elsewhere. I've got lots of inspirations of sorts. I'm feeling inspired to make some typology videos, explanatory typology videos, try to maybe relaunch an overview attempt. It's a struggle because I don't feel like I've got a good curriculum breakdown of it. But you know, I think you start with maybe a dichotomy between values and affect, and attention. Maybe draw a distinction between those three terms to start off with. Because, and maybe also sort of talk about what people do with typology. They define themselves for themselves, they define themselves for other people, they predict things either about themselves or others based on what they know about typology. Um, maybe. If I wanted to write a good song about that, it would have to be something like, but I guess that's just getting mail in Mariposa. Something like that. Some kind of words like that. So, anyway, uh, it's weird how slow the process of shifting from war zone life to being happy and free. It it's a rather extended process, and part of it is remembering how to not be burdened all the time with horrible things. uh, After you get conditioned to being burdened with horrible things all the time for long enough, a couple of years or whatever, then it takes a few months to transition back to, oh, I'm not weighed down by all this shit. I can just be happy. And you kind of have to remember how to be happy. As I believe we mentioned earlier, Russ's mom, Rachel's planning to wear a faux hawk to the wedding. So she's going to push all of her hair up into yeah, like a knife in the middle of her head. And then each of those hairs within the mohawk is going to be woven into the shape of a butterfly. We are getting married. Pretty soon, I'll be Eric LaPalosa. No. Rachel will be Rachel Strauss. Kilo Papa. What's Kilo Papa? Is that like a boutique store for cocaine? Okay, let's go outside. We're going to have one more cigarette. And then we're going to play Baby Boy Barrison bundles off to Betty Bye. Bundle me up in your trundle car. Bundle me up tonight. 'Cause it's well past bedtime, and I'm a big boy, but I can't stay up all night. Let's all put on clothes and go outside. Sometimes it's just like, okay, enough already. Just stay in one place. But other times, like now, it makes me think, oh yeah, this is a good idea. I must be Alberto Einsteino, sometimes known as the Mexican Einstein. Can you guys say anything? You guys can still see fine, right? You can still see everything? Because everything is the minimum amount anyone should ever see. Okay, well, now out over here, we're looking at this stuff, we're looking at that stuff, we don't even know what we're looking at. Okay, there we go. We're looking at a railing. I'll be railing up whatever you got to rail, motherfuckers. Eric, will you please show your head? We didn't come here to see your torso. We came here to see your beautiful, rugged, manly face. Fair enough, friends, fair enough. Gaze upon it. This is the face of today's America. It's nice out here. It's a nice spot to stand. Our little river's still running pretty good. We still got quite a bit of water down in there. You can easily hear it trickling. It's a pretty soothing sound. Most of all, the absence of other sounds is so soothing. I don't hear any cars. I don't hear any airplanes. No helicopters, no sirens. I just hear the creek and frogs. At least I think that's what that is. Sounds like it from down over there. A lot of frogs, bar. Shut up. Their sound doesn't bother me at all, Tiffany. Bother why? Let's drink a cup of salt. Drink a cup of sand, huh? Well, that's good advice. Okay. I think this basically marks the end of my day. I need to clean the cat box first. I might as well take you guys with me to clean the cat box because you guys constantly need to be taught how to clean things. That's why I bring you along on all my chores. Because you're ignorant. You're ignorant of how to clean things properly. And you have to have a lot of repeat lessons because you're a slow learner. Or it's a lot warmer in the house than outside. I knew it. I neglected this for too long today. And look at this mess. We got poop on the floor. I'm like, who pooped that much? It must have been Trouble. Trouble poops enough for a whole third world nation. Okay. So that's fine there. Now, after you scooped out all the poop and pee, then you gotta, if your cat did this, like my cat did, you gotta scoop that back in there. But not the poop part. Okay, then you check your levels. This is maybe a ½ inch too low. You want to err on the side of too high because if your cat has a really big pee, then sometimes if it's not high enough, the clumping part will reach all the way to the bottom of the thing. In which case, then you got gross pee stuff to try to scrape off the bottom of the pan. You want to avoid that. So keep your litter levels high and keep yourself high too if possible. Okay, so I'll put this there and I'll go like that. Okay, now I'm done cleaning the litter box. So I won't have to do that again until the morning. It's not that big of a task. I do let them go outside, Boba Fett. I encourage them to go outside all the time. But they prefer to go, I clean it at least twice a day. But really, I'm most well served to clean it 3 times a day. If I just clean it once in 24 hours, ay, there's a disaster area in there. Unfortunately, my cats have really taken to being inside cats, not because we don't want to let them outside, because they don't like to go outside for some reason. I try to get them to go outside all the time. Just go outside, why don't you? They don't listen to me. Trouble goes outside more than Capillo, but I don't think they go to the bathroom outside anymore. I think they prefer to use the litter box. I wish they would do that. No, I've never pooped in the litter box. But that's because a couple of weeks ago, I finally mastered the toilet. And I am not going back to pooping outside. Mm-mm. Okay. So have a great evening. Bienvenidos a Sábado Gigante. A combination of two Mexican TV shows. And also, Buenos Dias. And also, Buenos Tardes. Also, watch out for chupacabras. Good night, God bless, and good luck.